3, 2, 1. Hello, my name is Jay Schaefer. Today is the 9th of August 2021 and it's like, what time is it? It's like 5:30 in the afternoon. So if you're watching this, you are probably somewhere in the future. Looks pretty good from where I'm sitting. I wanted to record this video as a way to kind of record where I'm at right now and to prophesy as to what I see happening in my life, as a way to kind of prove that magic exists, that if we can see far enough into the future, then we can predict the past. And that I just watched one of the Harry Potter movies, and in it, Harry sees himself scaring away the Dementors, and then he goes back and he does it, and he's like, oh, I knew I could do it because I'd already seen it. And this is the gift that I believe that we have with prophecy, and this is the gift of being able to predict the future and then live into it, and being able to see visions before they've happened. And I think that's how we it's the beginnings of time travel for our civilization. So we are going to talk about it. These are some of the things that I can see happening. They're the future visions that I've already seen in my mind that I know I'm about to live out into reality. And I thought it would be kind of cool, to prove that this is real, not to prove myself, well, kind of a little bit to prove myself, and to prove this is real, that it's possible for us to predict the future. And I just think it'd be a really cool thing to be able to look back on this in 30 years and be like, hey, that was 28-year-old me and she just predicted all that stuff was going to happen. So these are my predictions and my prophecies for the next 30 years, let's say 30 years. And I really do believe it's possible. Actually, before we start, visions for me have been one of the coolest things in my life for getting me out of places where I didn't want to be. So things like depression, anxiety, addiction. When I first went to church for the first time, God or I showed myself visions of what was coming for me, and it helped me leave my old life behind and make choices, even when it was really, really hard, make choices that were in alignment with my higher nature. And that I knew, because I knew what was coming and the good things that awaited me, I was like, oh, of course, I want that more than I want this, this thing right now that's here in front of me that I feel I can't resist. I want the future that's awaiting me more than I want the present that is containing me. And so I continually choose these visions over and over and over again, each and every single day. And yeah, it's cool. And there's stuff in the middle, and sometimes you don't know what's going to happen, and that's the fun part of life, because it's I don't know, could be anything, could be here, could be there, could do that, could do this. And I think there's supposed to be room for spontaneity and play and creation, but these are the kind of things that I'm yeah, this is going to happen in the next 30 years. So, and it could happen in the next 10 years, it could happen in the next 5 days, maybe not the next 5 days, but here we go. In the next 30 years, I prophesy that I will have published at least 3, 4, 5 books, and will have hit the New York Times bestseller list at least 3 times and stayed on it for at least 100 weeks cumulatively, maybe with one particular book. I prophesy that I will be speaking on stages to millions of people all over the world. I will be standing, I can see myself standing with a microphone looking out into a sea of smiling, shining faces. Everyone's got their torches, their phone torches out, and they're lit up. And it's just this epic, incredible, beautiful scene. I prophesy that I will have millions of dollars in my bank account, and it'll just be flowing in. Money is just addicted to me and so attracted to me that it just keeps flowing in again and again and again and again and again, and just feels so good. I prophesy that I have a completely clear and clean bill of mental health that I have since I was 25, and that just keeps getting clearer and cleaner. My mind is crystal clear. It's sharp as a fucking tack. It's clear like a crystal, like glass, and it just shivers and shines, and my mind is one of my favorite things about me. It's so clear. I prophesy that I will continue to prophesy over people's lives and over my own life, and things keep continuing to come true. I prophesy that I will lead an entire generation out of victim mentality, out of lack, out of scarcity, out of fear, and out of mental health and addiction problems. So whatever that looks like, we're going into freedom. What I see is I prophesy that we will be charging and taking the land into freedom, and getting rid of all the chains that hold us back, the things that hold us back, the chains of religion, the chains of self-doubt, the chains of insecurity, the chains of pain, the chains of our generations gone before us, our ideas about God and who and what God was, and all the things from that religion has taught us. We're just breaking free of all those chains. And I prophesy, and I can see that we are just moving forward in the realms of sexuality. We're just a fully sexually liberated and empowered generation, and we're just letting go of all the shame and the shackles and all of that sort of stuff. I prophesy specifically that I'll be married in the next, I prophesy that my career is going to take off at 32. It's going to hit like a massive big like boom, like big kaboom and a big zenith. Prophesy that at 34 I'll be married and probably be having my first child at 34. And then I'll have 3 children in that time between 34 and 30. 34 and 38, and have 3 children in that time, around that time frame. 2 of them are going to be girls, and 1 of them is going to be a little boy, and it's going to be the same soul that I experienced a pregnancy with last time. Yeah, that came through for me in 2010. So cool. I prophesy that our generation is just unlike any generation that has ever come through on the planet before. We are so different. We're so wild. Like, as we take leadership in our spheres, you're just going to see radical change in every industry. Like, no industry is going to be the same as it was like now in the next like 10, 15, 20 years. Gen Z are going to be the true like leaders in terms of the health and wellness space. They're going to have breakthroughs that are going to see like, we're just going to see massive advancements in health, more specifically in, I want to say Cairo. Oh, okay, so cryptocurrency is going to be really massive. That's kind of a given. It's already pretty massive, but I feel like I know that that's just going to keep getting better and better. That's where I make a lot of my money, in crypto. Cool. I prophesy that I will have game-changing friends. I prophesy that I'll have game-changing husband. Honey, I love you in the future. I've already seen you, and I just fucking love you so much. Just the thought of you, like, we haven't even met yet, and just the thought of you just like sends my heart into like just exploding already into smithereens just because of you. So thank you. Mwah. I love you. I can't wait to meet you. I'm so excited. And my babies. I don't know if my kids are going to watch this one day, but I love you. Mommy loves you so much. And you're all world changers. You're all little world changers. And I love you. I prophesy that my sister's going to get married to someone incredible and we're going to be really good friends. I prophesy that the world is going to go through a radical revolution after this whole COVID nonsense, and some people are going to get kind of like be stuck in like fear and that sort of stuff and scarcity, and some people are going to just like create their own reality. I foresee myself as being, already am, but like foresee myself even more so as being a leader in the field of creating your own reality and helping people really to just like tune into the unique frequency that they're here to like dial in on the planet and just land that on the planet so that together we can all just like boom, bless up. I see myself on stages in front of lots and lots of people and doing like performances, like performance art. It's going to be like movement, music, dancing, singing, creating, a little bit of rapping in there too. I see and prophesy that the world is going to go through like a global renaissance. It's going to be so beautiful. There's going to be so many creators coming through. Even now you can already see it, like with the beginnings of like things like TikTok and Instagram Reels and stuff like that, but just on a bigger scale, like independent record labels, self-publishing of books, like all that stuff's just going to blow up, and you're going to see like independent publishers, different things just get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and so many creatives are going to have a platform that they've never had before. So many creatives, myself included, are going to be making bank. Like, we're going to be so rich. We're like the new kind of like, I see wealth as being okay, so there's not as much of an emphasis in the future on wealth as there is now, like as we know it now. So like people are catching on to the idea that like wealth doesn't equal financial wealth and material wealth. And I can see it as being like there's like, I don't know if the wealth gap evens out, but it's definitely the happiness gap evens out. And like a lot more people are a lot happier on the planet. And they're just like, yeah, cool. The suicide rate goes down massively, like way down, especially among young people, young people are like, it's like a new, like kind of like the 60s, but with tech and like the digital age. So it's like free love movement, but like consciousness movement, even more so than what we're seeing now. Like it just becomes more and more mainstream. I see myself skateboarding, or like skateboarding is going to be really big in my life. I feel like that's just a prophecy for me. I'm just getting like pulling like pictures and images and then like speaking into existence like what I've been able to see. This book that I'm working on now is going to get published and it's going to hit the bestseller lists and it's going to like go out into the world. It's going to be so fucking beautiful. I'm going to get a 6, if not 7-figure book deal and have my dream agent and my ideal publishing literary agent and my ideal publisher. And yeah, it's going to blow up and I'm going to be like kind of like the Cardi B of the literary world. Like I'm just gonna like Lady Gaga, kind of like really eccentric fashion. Oh man, I learned how to like set up a tripod so my phone doesn't keep falling over. There we go. Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna have really eccentric like fashion, be like a bit of a style icon in that sense. My sister's probably gonna laugh at that because like this is my style currently, so we're gonna need a lot of work in that department. It's gonna be fine. I prophesy that my embodying you women are like gonna like rise up and be leaders in their chosen spheres, and I can see you all being like at the front row of like my TED Talks or like talks that I do, and I can see all of you like leading your own talks and like being the heads of like hands. I see you being like the head of an environmental organization and just like taking over the world in that department, and you guys are all just gonna like absolutely like revolutionize and like light up in your own spheres. It's gonna be so beautiful, like together and separately. It's just gonna be like amazing. I really feel that for our generation, like millennials and Gen Z, like when we come into like leadership positions in politics, just things just change like so quickly. Prophesy that disclosure is going to happen soon. And again, like kind of like everything that we've kind of seen so far, the mainstream narrative is going to be kind of different to what like people know and expect. And again, there's going to be people speaking out against the mainstream narrative, and those people are probably going to be right. Just saying, if you're watching this from the future and the government and the media is like, oh my God, aliens, help. Don't believe them. Like, they're not scary. They're not going to hurt you. You're totally fine. Aliens are not going to like, they don't want to fuck with us. Like they do, but like in a nice way. They're just so much more spiritually and emotionally and intellectually evolved than a lot of humans. So they're going to be like, hey bros, what's up? And I have this vision sometimes of us like getting on spaceships, and I feel like it's either like intergalactic travel. I don't feel like Earth's going to become uninhabitable. I see Earth like being fully restored to its like full glory, and like it's just like a stunning planet. It's like the garden, it's like Eden. It's like the Garden of Eden all over again. But I think like we have the opportunity for intergalactic travel, and it's kind of like traveling to a different country now. Like in our heads, sometimes that seems like a really big idea now. Like, oh my God, you know, traveling to another country, that's huge. It's time consuming, it's expensive. But like when you do it all the time, it's like, oh, okay, cool. So I'm just going to get on a red eye from like London to New York. It's going to be the same with like, I was going to say time travel maybe, but it's going to be the same with like interplanetary travel. At first it'll seem like holy shit, and then it'll just be normal. Psychedelics, like things like ayahuasca, are going to get even bigger and more mainstream. You're going to see politicians coming out, they're like, oh my God, I did an ayahuasca trip, and then they're going to like convert to like spirituality and just like have this whole 180 of their belief system and religious or like their ideologies and orientations, which is like really cool. I just see me like leading dances, like leading these massive big dance fests and festivals all over the world, where it's like kind of like Tomorrowland, but people are like dancing and raving, and it's just like collective experiences of joy. It's just everyone's so happy and just so joyful and like lit up, like absolutely lit up, because we get over this whole idea that we need to like fight for war for resources, and we just understand like fundamentally in the truth in our bones that there's more than enough and like abundance for everyone. And so everyone's like, oh cool, we can like fucking relax and breathe out now and actually just do what we love. John Maynard Keynes, like back in, can't remember when, but he's an economist, and he wrote this paper called The Economic Possibilities for Our Grandchildren. You can probably go look it up somewhere like on your like future laptop right now. I don't know what those are going to look like, but I'm sure they'll be fun. But he wrote this thing, and it was like, yeah, we'll get to a point in society where all the menial jobs, like people won't have to work anymore to get by. Like we'll finally have broken these like slavery chains and codes on the planet. And so it'll be like, you just work because you want to. You work because it's fun. You work because it fulfills you and your purpose on this earth. We'll still have purposes that involve our work, but you know, they won't be like, I have to work to earn ends meet. So that's like already been predicted, but I'm prophesying that too. Speaking into that, that's what I see as well. People working for like passions, to build like amazing passions. I see the practice of magic. Like this is what I'm kind of journeying through in my own life. So it's probably like why it's top of mind for me, but everyone's kind of like practicing magic in their own way. And it's not like the occult, and it's not this like, there's no shame or like shit around it. It's not weird anymore. Everyone's just like, fuck yeah. Like everyone is like, a lot of people are stoked to be on the planet. It's like you arrive on Earth and you're like, yes, I got Earth. Like I'm so excited because like we know how to practice real everyday magic. And it's like, life is more magic than not. And when you know how to see it, and when kind of like the veil is lifted on this stuff, like life is actually, like, this is magic. What I'm doing right now is magic. Like, I'm literally, it looks like magic because like it's doing something that not a lot of people know how to do yet, or that's not mainstream yet. Like, I didn't even know how to do this like 5 minutes ago. So it's like, it's going to be that kind of stuff. Like, we're just going to get better and better at creating and manifesting, and then like having fun with it. And because manifestation has nothing to do with like taking other people's resources or like stealing or scarcity, then it's like, I can just see everyone like being their own kings and queens of their life and their own gods in their own life. So they're all just like, hey bro, like, let's do this, let's do that, let's collaborate on this, let's create this together. And it's more about like, how cool can the things that we create be? Like, how much joy can they bring? How cool can they be? How like edgy, how fun, how like, whoa, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Psychedelic. Yeah. Yo, 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 yo. I see my hair growing back. Wow! Boop. I see my hair growing back and being like really long. I see me rocking up to like a function in a dress that's like floor length red gown. It's like figure hugging, and I look fucking hot. Prophesying that over my life. See that for sure. When I was like a couple of years ago, I did this like meditation thing, and I saw it. I was doing it with Abby and Jared. If you guys know them, they're probably in the future too. Hope so. And then we opened this box. That was weird. I opened this box in the future, and it was like, there was a couple of books in there, and I saw that they were the gifts I'm here to bring to the world were my books. And I saw them and I was like, holy shit, this is so cool. So the first one of those is about to come out now, which is really exciting. It's called I Am God. At the moment, it's called I Am God. Name could change between now and publication, but go back and find that and read it again, because that's what I'm writing right now. And it's like kind of cool because I'm coming to you from the past and the future. So it's like, yeah. And this is another thing that happens in the future too. Like, I prophesy that we'll be able to bend time in really cool and interesting ways. So like, people are becoming more and more aware now, and I'm becoming more aware of how time is actually like super malleable. So is reality. Like, you guys, reality is so malleable. Like, things that, you know, we think could take 10 years end up taking like one, if that, like a month, like a year or a month, shorter than we expected. And things that like we think are going to take, I don't know, a really short amount of time sometimes take a lot longer. But time is like so much more malleable and so much more within our control based on what we do and what actions we take and how we think than we currently think it is. So what I prophesy is that I, especially because I'm working on this now, but like all of the people around me and all of us learn how to like manipulate, it's not even like co-create, like create time, right? We create time for ourselves by like not focusing on the things that we don't want to do and not doing them anymore. So we create these beautiful, massive expanses of time. Like right now, I feel, in a lot of ways, I feel very like time abundant. There's still kind of a little bit of like chains around, like a little bit of pressure that I feel sometimes, especially when there's things that I'm like, oh, this is taking forever. But I know what to do to kind of like cut through the bullshit and to be able to speed up the process, and also just like learn to enjoy the process no matter how long it takes. Like, not no matter how long it takes, but just learn to enjoy the process, full stop. Every single minute of the process. Every single minute can be pleasurable. I can see like this joy revolution and this self-pleasure revolution. It's just so beautiful. Like, yeah, especially with women, like we're just like fully awakened to our sexuality. So there's a lot of like more liberation in the planet, and like a lot more women are very like expressive and free. And there's this beautiful union and harmony of the masculine and feminine coming together. Like, oh, I just got chills. I see laughter and comedy. I feel like I'm going to be like doing comedy shows, and I'm going to be speaking all over the world and making people laugh like really hard. It's going to be so fucking fun. Like, we're just going to have the best time. So if I'm not doing like, I prophesy that over my life, and I'm going to be doing like a comedy tour. I think it's going to be called The Cosmic Joke. But yeah, I just want to like really hammer it home. This is like, I'm in the past, technically. I'm in the present. But it's like, it's literally 2021. None of this stuff has happened yet in the physical. Like, it's happened in time-space reality. But like in my life, I'm like living at my mum's house. I'm in Casuarina. I'm in like the Tweed Coast. Like, I'm not, the world's in lockdown. Like, we can't really fly anywhere right now. Nobody knows what's going to happen. So I just want to like you have the power to do this too, is what I'm saying. Is if you want to speak something into existence, if you want to ask for visions, if you want to get downloads, whether it's like a voice in your ear or something you can like see that before it's happened, like speak it into existence. I just had the idea to do this before, and I was like, a little part of me was like, oh, that's crazy, but I know not to listen to that part anymore, because that part of me doesn't have the power over me. That's like a saboteur. The magician who's like, fuck yeah, this is epic, like people are gonna see this, I'm gonna see this in the future and be like, damn girl, so dope. Probably gonna criticize myself for being very extra and overacting and overperforming right now. I prophesy that I'll probably be an actor. I don't think anyone's called actresses anymore. I don't know if I'm going to do movies or something, but I really want to like write a musical or a play or something like that. But yeah, there's still stuff that I can't see. Prophesy I'm going to move to New Zealand, and then I'm going to live in LA, and I'm going to have a house in Malibu. It's going to be fucking great. But yeah, like I said, this is my house right now. Like, it's cool, but it's like my mom's, and she's just renting, and like, yeah, there's like, logically this does not make sense that I would do this, and it's not like this big thing that I'm like, yeah, these things are guaranteed to happen. But I have so much faith in myself. I have so much faith in my own ability. I have so much faith in my visions, and I know I get to just keep taking those steps again and again and again. There's definitely still part of me that's like, oh, scary, but like, because I don't know what's coming. Like, it's fully just stepping into the unknown again and again and again and again and again and again. But that's the beauty of it. And I think this is like the beauty of like speaking into it, is like I am trusting and I'm certain, and it's just this beautiful, yeah, you're speaking it into existence. You have that certainty. I have that certainty around it. So like, once I've spoken it, then I can kind of just sit back, and not sit back, but there's definitely, I can rest. This is what I struggle with sometimes, and like, you can hear probably my voice is like getting a little bit tight, because I'm like, I have to work so hard. It's not like that at all. I get to rest knowing and relax, knowing that my vision, my future is already taken care of. I can continue to step into, I continue to trust and follow my intuition, my inner guidance, and I can trust that it's all gonna be fucking beautiful. That's the point of all this, is like knowing that as we continue to step into the unknown, what keeps us often like hanging on to the past and going around in loops that we don't want to be in, is this fear of like, but what if the future's like not as good as the past? Or what if the future's worse than the past? Or what if the future's the same as the past? I think that's probably like, the irony of that is like, it's going to be the same unless you change it. But then so many people, and myself included for a long time, were scared that the future was going to be the same. And that like fear kept me paralyzed and kept me from changing. Like how like these like loops that we get caught in. There's going to be so much stuff that comes out on the science of trauma in the next 10 years too. Even now, like stuff that's coming out is amazing. But what I see and what I know of trauma is that it's just content. Like Dane Thomas put up a thing the other day, and it was like, it's just data. I was reading Gabby Bernstein's book. She did something similar to this. She like spoke into existence that her book was going to be amazing, and she sent a copy off to Wayne Dyer, and then he called her up on stage at one of his events, and it's like, she didn't even know she was going to be a published author, and now she is. So it's just really cool. And yeah, I foresee like trauma is just, it's really big in the world at the moment. People are kind of, and it's awesome, people are coming to terms with their childhood trauma, but at the end of the day, like you guys, it's just data. Like, do with it what you will. I wrote a book about mine. I created art out of it. You can just completely erase it if you want to. Just fucking wipe it off the face, pretend it didn't happen, and start again. Clean slate. Like, if there's anything this year has taught me, it's just our ability to have like a completely clean slate and then just start again as often as we want. Literally. It's amazing. It's like crazy amazing how powerful we are and what we can do. Yeah, I foresee like more freedom, massive freedom. Like, we're just, yeah, like individual sovereign freedom, which then creates freedom in like better relationships, creates more intimacy, deeper connections. It's beautiful. I foresee me doing a lot more videos like this, especially because this is really cool. And I hope that I like put this on YouTube or whatever the platform streaming thing is of the day in 5 or 10 years, whenever all these, let's just say I'll revisit this in 5 years, and then we'll see. We'll go from there. We'll do another one, and then we'll go from there. And I hope I look banging. Hey, me. You sexy. You sexy. You cute. Okay. I'll be 33. Fuck yeah. We married. Hey, babe. I foresee, yeah, way more people doing stuff like this. like everyone just being like, yeah, this is what I prophesy. This is the thing, this whole generation of like 21st century saints, I'm gonna get t-shirts printed. We're just gonna be like prophet, leader, architect of the future, healer, guide, mentor, superhero, like whatever, just t-shirts with like, just really claiming our identity. We can see it now. There's the rise of like, especially like, it's so fucking cool in Black culture at the moment. There's this like incredible movement of people really, like people of color really reclaiming their, like fiercely reclaiming the royalty in their blood and their DNA, and just like stepping into that like true king and queenly power and that goddess and God energy. And it's like, oh my God, I'm just, yeah, here for it, living for it. It's really cool. Yeah, I see way more of that. We're all just going to be like, and not in an egotistical, inflated way, just in like a really like, no, this is who I am. This is who I'm here to be. Like, what? And we just have lots of fun. And it's just cool. I just love it. Because we're not guided by this like incessant need to like please everyone or like fulfill expectations of our parents. I was watching a movie the other day, and it was like this guy. Anyway, all movies are just going to be completely irrelevant because people aren't going to believe the characters' like struggles, because they're all like, oh, I'm trying to avenge my father, and then other people are like, I never got my father's love, and our generation's like, well, just heal your fucking trauma. But it's just like, the difference is like, we're not unconsciously creating, we're conscious creators now, and as we move forward, that's going to get even bigger. I prophesy that just an entire generation are rising up and becoming leaders in their own lives, and they're just living lives of like joy and freedom, curiosity, creativity, prosperity, joy, like all these beautiful things. And just allowing the power of the Holy Spirit and the power of God to move through them in every single moment of every single day. Boom. It doesn't get much better than that. Or like, how does it get even better than that, as Peter Kelly would say. Yo. Okay. I'm gonna go enjoy the journey, because fuck, like, I'm still here. I'm still in 2021, and I get to enjoy the journey of watching all those things come to fruition. Like, I'm not in a rush. Sometimes I'm in a rush, but like, I'm gonna try not to be in a rush, because like, I'm excited to get to the future like on time, and I'm always in the most inspired place at the most inspired time, doing and saying the most inspired thing. The magician's code. Feel that, believe that in your heart and soul. Lorna Gabriel taught me that. The Dark Secret. If you haven't read it, I'm sure it'll be even bigger than it is now. It's a cool book. Very, very cool book. Very liberating. Terrifying, but liberating read. But yeah, I'm gonna go live my life now in the present, and keep creating, doing what I'm doing, getting skilled up, getting better at what I do, like working on my talents, working on my skills, and just enjoying as much as I can the present moment, like learning how to live, mastering living, like learning how to master living, or just mastering a living, so that it's not about these like big external goals and outcomes. They're just like a beautiful byproduct of a life well lived. This is so cool. This is so fucking cool. Like, I can't believe I just did this. And I'm so excited to look back on this in like 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 15 years, and just be like, yo, I did that. Yo, I did that. Tick, 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 boom. And I would encourage you right now, wherever you are, whether you're watching this now, whether you're watching this in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, hello from the past. And also just like go and do this, prophesy, write a script, write it down, write a goals list, write like a, what do you see for your future? If you can't vision it, just go nuts. Like, I don't know, go on mushrooms, or just like get wild, get drunk, and then be like, oh, this would be mad, this would be sick. Create a video about it. It's gonna be fucking epic. And yeah, just know I love you. You guys are epic. You're incredible. You're amazing. I love you. Go hard. Go big. Remember, this life is nothing but whatever you make it. Whatever you want it to be. I love you guys. It's me, Jay. Bye. That was weird. Okay.